This is the plaintiff, Tatiana Kernasant. She says she brought her new car into the defendant's auto shop for a full tune-up, and just a week later, she was stuck on the side of the road sitting in a burning car. She thought she was going to die until she was rescued by 3 Good Samaritans. The fireman told her it was an electrical fire caused by a faulty repair. The defendant refused to refund her money, so she's here to set the record straight and get the $4,850 she's owed. This is the defendant, Paul Kazi. He says he didn't do any electrical work on the plaintiff's car and did no work on the bottom of her car where the fire started. Also, if someone does something wrong, fire starts a few days later, not a month. He feels the plaintiff's just trying to recoup some of her losses by pinning it on him, and that's not fair and certainly not true. He's accused of sending a smokescreen.
All parties, please raise your right hands.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case in the docket. The plaintiff says the defendant is responsible for her car catching on fire as she helplessly sat inside. But the defendant says he didn't touch the part that torched the car. It's the case of you burned me up.
Thank you, Douglas. Okay, Tatiana Kernasant?
Yes.
You are suing RVG Auto Center, represented here by Paul Kazi. You're the owner?
Yes.
All right, for $4,850. The amount that you paid him for car repairs and the price of the car, because according to you, after the repairs and thanks to his negligence, the car went on fire.
Yes, that's
Good
correct.
Lord, tell me what happened.
Okay, on January 30th, I bought my car to get repairs.
And who did you buy the car from?
I bought the car from my fiance, Jeffrey Jean Baptiste.
Okay, you got a ring? You got a date? Do you have a ring and a date?
Not a date.
Oh, okay. Well, you got a ring?
Yes.
All right.
Yeah, so on January...
How much did you buy the car for?
For $3,000.
You buy it in January and you decide to put $2,000 worth of work into it.
Yes.
All right. It's a 12-year-old car.
Yes.
What kind of car?
An Audi A6 2000.
All right. So you do what?
Well, when I took it, at first, the car had an overheating problem, and that's what I tended to get fixed. He called me... The defendant called me a day later and told me that he gave me a list of things that needed to be fixed. He told me the overheating problem is being caused because of the water pump, timing belt, gasket, thermometer. Those things would have to be fixed. And he said the car would need a full tune-up. And he also told me, then I had asked him, he told me that my rotors, my back rotors and my back brakes wasn't good. So he would recommend that I get that fixed as well.
Okay.
So I asked him how much would everything come up to. He broke it down in parts and labor, and he told me everything would come up to $1,850.
And you authorized the work?
Yes.
And you picked up the car when?
I picked up the car February 6th, which is the same day I got the car registered.
Okay. And then what happened?
So I had the car from February 6th to February 14th. On February 14th, I parked the car in the garage. On February 15th, I left and got on a plane to Florida to visit my sister in Florida for 2 weeks. I came back February...
I assume you're pointing that out to me, not because I need to know your whereabouts, but to point out that the car wasn't driven?
It wasn't driven. So Monday, February 27th, I took the car from the garage. I got a call from my brother. He asked me if I can bring him to Queens to follow him because he was going to go bring his car to get repaired, and he wanted me to drive him back home to Brooklyn from Queens. So I told him, okay, no problem. I went to the garage, I picked up the car, and then I was following my brother. When we got to Jamaica Avenue, I started to smell smoke. The smoke.
Are you in the car with your brother, or you're following him?
I was following him.
Right.
I was in the car by myself. I started to smell smoke, and it was coming, I looked, and it was coming from somewhere underneath the hood. Then the smoke got in the vents, and I started to feel dizzy. I couldn't
Well, how much did you keep driving when there was smoke that you noticed from your hood?
It was a block. So I just did a crazy turn, and I just tried to just put myself over on the side of a curve as fast as possible. I turned off, I took out my key, grabbed my bag, my phone, I ran out the car. There was 3 guys who was standing in front of a barbershop. They said, Miss, your car is smoking, I said, please, can you please help me? They came and they popped the hood. They popped the hood
Oh
of the car.
my gosh, what were they thinking? Help me, is yes I can, 911.
Yes, they went in I think the barbershop and got a fire extinguisher. So they took the fire extinguisher, they came and they took out the fire from underneath by the side of the engine.
Okay, and then they turned, did you actually see the fire?
There was a fire.
Like you actually saw the flames. Or just the intense smoke?
It was flames and smoke.
Okay, and then what happened?
So they took out the fire. So then I called 911 and I told them that, the car was caught on fire. But for
this
some
was on
reason,
what day?
This was on the 27th, Monday, February 27th.
Okay, go on.
So after that, I called the police. They told me there was, I gave them all the information. They said they was sending the fire department. Do you have a fire department report? They didn't give me the fire
Do you have a video?
Yes.
Oh my goodness. I was looking at the wrong car. It's the one on fire behind it.
Yes.
Way back.
Yes.
Good Lord. You just didn't want to get that close.
I ran as far back as possible.
Of course.
And that was the first thing I thought to do because I know if I wouldn't be able to explain this to someone.
So what happened? Wait, the fire department's there, so obviously they weren't able to take the three fellas.
After it spreaded underneath the car. So
when you expected that it's over,
Yes.
what happens is it's worse.
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
So I had no choice. I had to wait till the fire department came. But by the time they came, the car had already burned down. And I have some pictures I would like to show you as well.
I'd like to see them. Oh my goodness. Not much left of it, huh?
No.
Can't just clean it up, buff it out.
After they put out the fire, that's what was left.
Okay. So you feel that it is their fault. Why?
Because
I know that they're the last people who dealt with your car.
Yes, after the fire, the firefighters put out the fire. The fire marshal, I think it was the fire marshal. He asked me, the first thing he said is, let me ask you a question. Have you had any work done to this car recently?
Okay, so be honest with me. You're in a car, boom, it burns up. It just catches fire. Would you stop to get your cell phone first? Tell me the truth.
No, my cell phone is staying in the car.
Would you momentarily and instinctively grab for your cell phone?
Absolutely not.
Who is going to be honest with me? Who would?
I'm very fast with my hands.
There you go. So no, but that's what she did. I mean, that's what she did. By the way, really bad move going inside the courtroom.
I said about 2 to 3 weeks ago. Yes, I had a couple of things done to the car.
And he says what?
It was an electrical fire.
Okay, I need that. If you can prove it's an electrical fire, I'd like to know that it was an electrical fire.
Okay.
Then your next burden is proving that it is as a result of the repairs. But I have no idea what caused your fire because you don't have
Would you like to see the
fire
police report?
Yeah, let me see the police report. Maybe the police report talks about what the fire department said. But the police officer's not an expert on what would cause a fire. What's going on? She says she has work done at your place 3 weeks earlier. And barely uses the car, and then she goes up and smoke like a cigarette butt.
Yeah, I mean she brings the car over to my shop on January 30th.
Yeah, we know all that. But what work did you guys do?
I did the water pump, I did the thermostat and the gasket, and I did 2 camshaft, and I did a tune-up. The water pump doesn't cause any electrical fire because it only pumps antifreeze throughout the whole engine.
Antifreeze throughout the engine. Right, so it's not electrical.
It's not electrical.
The thermostat. Tell me about the thermostat.
The thermostat is right by the water pump.
And that just controls what?
To pass the antifreeze, or the flow of the antifreeze.
So if that fails, what happens?
Car overheats.
And when a car overheats, what happens?
You have antifreeze all over the place, and it doesn't cause fire. It just shuts down.
It just causes a car to stall.
Yeah.
And stop.
Stop.
It burns your engine.
Burns your engine, yeah.
I have one thing I would like to add.
Do you have any expert testimony that any of the things that he did to the car? See, here's the thing. You don't have the fire report. This is awful. I feel so bad for you. I can only imagine. I would have nightmares for I don't know how many.
I was having nightmares for over 2 weeks. I couldn't sleep. I kept having nightmares that I got burned alive in the car because I was one block away.
This is awful to go through. And thank the good Lord that you noticed it, got out, were able to rush away, and nobody who was standing there fiddling trying to help you got blown up, and that everything worked out as well as contained as can be expected. But now, when we're in court, for me to say it's your fault and you got to pay $5,000, I have to be able to find that it's his fault, which I'm willing to do if you give me some proof that it's his fault. People in your position have given me proof in the past as follows. They bring me a fire report that says the point of origination was X, and X is what he did, okay? They bring me an expert testimony, which I think would be very hard to do after the car is this charred, by another mechanic that says that it was X. They bring me something that says the things he did could cause a fire.
Okay, I have one thing I would like to add, Your
Sure.
Honor. The fire department finished putting out the fire. They said basically the fire spread because of that same part, the right side that caught on fire.
Ms.
Fire
Curtis,
ran
you're a smart
through-
woman. I want to explain to you why you're losing. You're losing not just because you didn't bring the fire report, but because you didn't bring evidence. Okay? I don't even know if the fire report would help you, because if your testimony to me is that it was electrical and there's nothing that he did that was electrical, I don't see how you can expect me to say, pull $5,000 out of your wallet and pay the lady it's all your fault. I can't do it without proof. My verdict in this case is for the defendant.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Let's chat with the plaintiff here. You understand the difference between hearsay and real evidence. Come a little closer, right? You understand that difference, right? And why the judge had a rule for the defendant.
Yes, I understand.
Okay. Why couldn't you bring the fire report or bring
The police department,
Yeah, somebody?
when the police, this is all they offered me was a police report. I never knew anything about a fire report. It wasn't available to me. And the fire department or the firefighters didn't tell me anything about that.
What about these dreams? How vivid were they?
I was basically having dreams that I was getting burned alive in the car.
Okay, all right. All right, head right down this way, okay? Come on in here. What do you think happened here?
Well, she had an electrical problem that I wasn't even worried about it, because the work that I did was nothing to do with electrical. So
There was no way you could have picked up on that problem that she was about to have?
I don't do any electrical work.
So this was a coincidence?
Yes, it have to be, because the work that I did, and after like 2 weeks later, car catches on fire. I don't know.
Harvey?
Okay, you know, we've seen situations where the judge can reach decisions without a third party telling her exactly what's up. I mean, generally, in a situation like this, you need expert testimony. That's why the plaintiff didn't prevail, didn't have an expert. That will do it for this case. Litigants for the next case on the way into the courtroom right now.